basic way that I do self-therapy is by journaling. I write in my journal every day, and I write down exactly what I'm feeling. I write down what I'm going through. I write down my experiences, usually of the previous day, but sometimes of 10, 20, 30 years past in my life, and I analyze them. I try to make sense of what I'm going through. I try to make sense of my present feelings and my present experiences in light of my past experiences. I try to connect my past to my present. But it's also a way of being incredibly honest with myself. I first started writing in my journal when I was 17 years old. And I went there because I felt so alone. I was desperate. I didn't really have anybody that I trusted to share my internal world with. My family wasn't safe. I didn't have any friends that I could be so intimate with, and I most certainly didn't trust therapists. I had gone to a psychologist once when I was 13, against my will. And it was a horrible experience. I felt totally pressured into it. I felt alienated, and I felt that I was being bullied and threatened. So I turned to myself, and I started writing in my journal. And it was terrifying. I was so afraid that someone in my family would see it and discover my inner world. And I couldn't bear that thought. So what I did is I took my journal, it's a black journal that I had, a big black journal, and I drilled a hole in it with a drill press. And I put a combination lock on it. That allowed me to feel safe. Right away, I started finding myself able to write about what I was feeling. And it was limited at first. I could maybe write a page or two at most, maybe a paragraph just about my feelings. It was terrifying to know that this internal world was going on. I had this belief back at that time that I was fully healed. And so writing in my journal, writing honestly about what I was going through, strongly contradicted that. And it created a lot of cognitive dissonance where I had to acknowledge that there were sides of me that were very unhealed. And that was frightening. But it was also liberating because it gave me a sense of hope. Now it's not so terrifying to write about my feelings. But on the other hand, when I get into really fresh feelings that are new, that are hard to acknowledge, the split off and dissociated sides of myself, it actually is terrifying still. It's sometimes embarrassing, and I have this feeling sometimes that someone's looking over my shoulder and reading it. And in a way, what I've discovered is that someone is looking over my shoulder and reading it. It's all the voices in my head that were implanted by my parents and my ancestors, all the voices that said, you shouldn't do this is wrong, you're sick, you're betraying the whole family system by writing about this stuff, by even thinking it. Your job, Daniel, is to split it off and keep it split off and think that you're fine and think that we're all fine and don't look at this stuff, just keep away from it. There is massive betrayal in writing in my journal, but it's been giving me my liberation steadily for the past 20 years. So I write in it every day now.